All right, so here's what I want to do. It's, it's the first of the month, and we are going to talk about Stencil Club, and we've got Jennifer Evans, who is this month's stencil designer, on here with us. And I have a little sort of a baby project with Stencil Club. But first of all, I want to talk about some of the things I've been doing because, you know, I've been gone for a long time. So I'm going to go back to my face and talk to you a little bit about what's been going on here. I've been on the road like a person, like a real person who does things live, and it's been insane. It's been insanely good to be back out with people because I think, I have this idea in my head that, I just need all this time to make my art and be with myself and immerse myself in art and on, right? I'm sure that you guys have all thought this. I mean, raise your hand if you thought this, right? I'll raise both hands. Because I think that's what we think we need as artists is these big blocks of time to immerse ourselves in our art. So that's what I was thinking. And when I went to Squam at the beginning of June, I was very excited to get that time. And what I found once I got there was I needed people. I needed people. And that was what I really wanted, was to be with people and to be with my tribe and to spend time one-on-one or two-on-one or whatever, to talk art and to look at books and to be wowed by the same things. That it only happens when you're in person with people, and it's just so valuable. So anyway, I feel wildly, wildly grateful about the chance that I had the opportunity to do that. I really do. I don't know, it's just awesome that I had the opportunity to be out and about with people. And what I want to do is kind of go back, and I'm going to switch camera again, and I'm going to show you some of the things I made when I was out in the world, okay? So this one I have spread out. I'll wait for everybody to get caught up. I know it's a little slow, the feed is. Okay, it's switched. All right. So this is the book that we made in the workshop that I called Betwixt and Between. This was in Cincinnati at a spirituality center, and it was a really great workshop with some amazing women, and we made this book that I haven't completely finished mine, but I have done a fair amount on it, and it's this book it's like a basket weave structure. This is on our blog. Kirsten Varga made this book 1 month for our blog. So if you're interested, maybe somebody might link that up, or you could look through the blog and look at the post Kirsten Varga. You could just search her on the blog and see this. But anyway, it's a very fun little book structure, and so this is one side of it, and then this is the other side of it. And it was so cool to have the opportunity to work two different sides, and essentially you can cover different topics on each side or whatever. And I was actually very thrilled with how my book turned out. Every page in here is a special memory to me, and it just turned out to be a very meaningful experience. The whole workshop did, and I was moved by the students and the work that they produced. It was wonderful. Several of them are on this. Bunch of them are on here with us, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, so that was cool, that book. Then so that was Betwixt and Between. This is the book I made when I went to Squam. I was the resident artist there, and I was also lucky enough to be able to take. Okay, Patty, you're telling me I'm not live on the SGP page. I don't know where I am. I am on, I guess, my own account. Okay, well, we'll just leave it here because I'm not going off of this again, okay? So we'll just keep going. This is as good as we got today. So, all right. Yeah, Marla was there, and Janine, and Carol, and Patty, a whole bunch of people. But prior to going to Cincinnati, I actually was in New Hampshire at Sacred Makers, where I was the resident artist. And I see people coming in late. Hey, Tracy, I know I pulled a switcheroo on everyone today, I think. So I apologize for that. And yeah, so sorry about that, guys. I don't know what is going on, but somehow the software that I use to do my live streams has apparently completely changed since I did my last live stream. So I don't know what's up with that. I'm gonna have to spend the afternoon doing the things that I do not care for. Hey Seth, I'm glad you found me. And Carol Ponsford, and Tracy was in Cincinnati too. Yes. Seth was not, but Carol and Tracy were. But Seth's here, so that's kind of cool. All right, so this goes back to New Hampshire, and I was so lucky to take a class with Tiffany Goff-Smith, and I had never met her in person, and I just loved her. And this is the book that I made in that class. And okay, if you know anything about me and anything about the books I make, you might know that making pages that are not all the same size is not so much my gig. Putting it together randomly like this, I am just like kind of, I was stressed is probably too strong of a word because it was such a delightful atmosphere. And it was just so delightful that I enjoyed every minute of it. But let's just say I was not the best student. Tiffany did this class where she furnished us with these pre-cut hardcovers and then with some other supplies. And then we made papers and did things with her. She is the best, Janine. You're just going to love her. I really, really enjoyed my time with her. Delightful person. She's the real deal. Well, anyway, so I had these covers that I was supposed to use, and I cut my pages all to size, and then I went to assemble my book, and for some reason, I don't know what I was thinking, I didn't cut my pages to the right size, and so I had something that was just completely not the size I had been trying to do, and I just was sitting there. I was like that student in the back of the room that was like not wanting to get the teacher's attention, but really needed the teacher's attention because all of my pages were wrong, and I didn't know how to bind it, and I don't know where my head was. So this book is all about, this is a book about meaning for me, and I started with the idea of the 7 is my birthday, is 7/7, so that number is always so meaningful to me. So I started the book with that, and then being grounded at Squam, and my shoes next to the water, and safety pinned into my little cottage there, and crowd. I felt like I was so surrounded by people. I needed the serenity that was there. And, so you can go through, and this is where we were, the map and recovery mode. So I can go in profound rest. Every page of this book is meaningful to me. And I'm not going to go through the rest of it because there's no wrong in art. I guess not, Janine, truly. I mean, every time I end up doing something like this, I tend to make up art that really pleases me. And that is just awesome when I do that. And this journal pleases me so much. I moved to a place that I just haven't gone with my art in a long time. And I am grateful to Tiffany for pulling that out of me and for, I don't know, allowing me to feel free enough to express these deep thoughts in this journal. And here's a page that I really like. Like I took the words across here in black, and then I changed them to white, and then back to black, and then back to white, and then to black. And that all does say something. I mean, it just felt amazing to work this way and with a lot more freedom. I mean, look at these pages, the size and the shapes of these pages. This is like so not Mary Beth Shaw, but it is, because I did it and I saved a little piece of bark right there. And I love that. I made a little pocket. So those of you who are taking a class with her, I know she's going to be at Kristen's in a few weeks, and I think you'll just love it. I sure did. I'm grateful to her for bringing these things forth, and it was great. So anyway, that's that. This is what I've done. Yeah, it's so free, Diane. That's exactly the way I felt about it, is the freedom that I don't normally go to that place. I clean it up too much. So that was pretty cool to do that. All right, stencils. All right, so I'm going to move some paint over here and see if we can get this all on the screen. This month's stencils are by Jen Evans, who she was on here with us, but perhaps I messed it up and she's not still here. I don't know. I hope she is, because she designed some kick butt stencils for us. So paisleys are the theme. And she did paisleys that have flowers in them and leafy things. So they're botanicals and they're wonderful. And then this one, I didn't know if it was supposed to be cut out or not, but I did. I cut it out because I wanted it cut out, that big one, because I wanted this big opening here. And so many options. There's every size of paisley on here. Oh, she is here. Awesome, Jen. I love these. And you know, I got to say that even as not necessarily a paisley girl, but I do love these. And there's so many things that we can create with these, all the different shapes, the opens, the more closed shapes, the variety is really extraordinary. So I want to show you what I made, and then we can maybe walk through it. So I was thinking paisleys, you know, they're pretty, right? And I thought, boy, they'd be pretty as greeting cards. And so, but, you know, I was in the mood. I hadn't been in the studio for a long time, and I was really in the mood to just do some random painted papers. And so that's so often how I start. And that is how I started on this. And I'm going to show you what I did with these paisleys. That was fun. I took paints in pinks and blush pinks and bright pinks and oranges, because, you know, pink and orange and purple, love, love, love. And I used this little guy with the stencil, and I found that this was the perfect tool to use for this type of thing, where you're basically changing colors in an analogous color scheme. So this worked really, really well. And I'm going to show you how I did it here. And then it involved glitter. I am just spreading my wings. I swear I'm not that person, but I was for this. All right, so what I did was I started out with this big one because I wanted to just get some color on the page. So, but I also wanted to leave some white. So I started out with this big opening where I cut that stencil out, and I just put down some colors. And you'll probably say, oh my God, you're just such a mess with this. And yeah, I am. But I love using this little brush. It's really, it just navigates between the colors so wonderfully. And also using it with just, you know, having one tool rather than switching sponges, that just sure makes it nice too. Now let's say you could have these different ways, you know, you could do so many different things here. There's options, but this is going to be an all paisley all the time page. And so I just started out like that with the big ones. Then I went to some big ones with pattern and just put some pattern here and there. And again, I've got my palette of kind of analogous colors, and I would say this is one of those, just grab whatever you have, because these are all going to work together in such a beautiful way. I think you'll just be delighted by it. Let's get a purple one here. I didn't do that. Yeah, this is a makeup type sponge. It's not even a sponge. It's these bristles that are put together in a real kind of a dense, tight manner, so they work quite well with stencils and the type of work that we do with them. So all I did was really just kept layering to the max, and you can see how you just really can't you can't make any mistakes here. I mean, Jen, I gotta say, that's a high point for me, because it's like, look at that, they just all go together, right? And so I am pretty stoked with how that works on there. So then, like, here's a heart. I can go back in and let's pop that heart with a little orange, or maybe actually be better with the blush. Go to a light color. You could change this up. You could do so many different things. Look at pop that heart over there. I mean, and look at this little flower dude here. This little guy right here. Love that. Whoop. Stencil move, stencil move. Okay, recommendation, always keep your stencil in the same place while you're stenciling it. Just saying, people, just saying. So you keep going, keep going, keep going, and layering and layering. And when you stick with this analogous palette, it's just going to look better and better. And with the variety of sizes and the variety of the paisley shapes that Jen has built in here, it truly, oh, look at that one right there. I want that one. Truly, you can't, you know, you can't really mess it up. It just looks good, right? It actually, I did want to go back, and I thought that I would do some things. Like, another thing I thought it would be really pretty to do is to take some of these and trace them with a colored pencil. I thought it would really pretty. Oh, it's not a lot of paint at all. It's just, you can see the tip of it. It's just, I mean, I just have a little dab of each color on here. It's just not. I mean, you kind of do that same theory as you always do when you're stenciling, is less paint is better. You know, less is more, okay? And keep it dry. Remember that, right? Back to our early stencil days, we try to keep it dry. Now I'm going around now being a little bit more particular and picking up colors, adding specific colors in specific places. Okay, but see how some whites are still in the background, and I like that. So then the next thing I did was I just, I tore it into 4 pieces, because I thought, well, for greeting cards or anything like that, bad tear, still wet. If you're doing this at home, you might, oh, you traced the big paisley and used a fine point marker to doodle. Oh, nice, nice. That's a great idea. Because I thought, well, this would be a great way to start, you know, a greeting card. If you just have these little sections around. And I've been starting to send a few handmade cards to people again. I don't know about you guys, but you know, I did this back in the beginning. I used to make so many handmade cards. And then as you become, oh, I don't know, a more proficient artist perhaps, or whatever you might want to call it, you maybe graduate to, you know, wall hanging canvases or who knows what. You change up what you're doing. Well, suddenly greeting cards go by the wayside, or at least they did for me, and nobody's gotten a homemade greeting card for me in years. And I made one last week for my dad's great aunt, and I don't know, I just think, oh, now look, see, I think this one is supposed to be cut away. I don't know, Jen, did you cut yours away? I kind of like that line in there because it gives you some little linear gestures too. So I think that could be either way. You could cut that border apart if you wanted, or just do whatever. I like the flexibility of these. If you would have said to me that Paisley Stencils were going to offer a bunch of flexibility, I would have said, you're a crazy person. That's what I would have said. But they do offer a lot of flexibility. Okay, so then to cap it all off, what I thought would be cool is, you know, use some glitter, people, because why not? So you can just, like I did here, I just picked out some areas to kind of glitter. I really like this one. Where is that one? It's right here. So let's just take this one and put it on the front. And I'm going to use, for the glitter, I use a palette knife. And because I like for it to be a real clean, you know, a clean tool with the palette knife, so it works better. So this is that eye zinc. I think Seth sells this in his shop. Seth, pop up if you do, and let everybody know. This is the only type of glitter I use because it's glitter suspended in this kind of gluey, painty madness that's it's just pretty cool. And it doesn't go airborne. That's the main thing, right? It doesn't go airborne at all. And you know, Seth's probably never used this color. I don't know. Maybe he has. But this isn't, you know, it's just because I was like, didn't want to use glitter because it would get out of control. And then before you knew, you had it everywhere. It was in your hair, it was on your face, you know, and you were wearing it for days and days. But this is not that way. I did just go under the stencil there, and I didn't mean to. And I want to show you something here. Okay. So you just spread it out with a nice palette knife like this. So, okay. I don't think she has it at Ephemera, Mary. Thanks, though, for pitching that out, but I don't think it's there. So, okay, so here we are, and look at how great this looks. I just took the palette. I had a few like over glittered areas there that I just took this and swiped it off. But I love how that looks. And you can even, okay, so look at this then. Oops, let's get the stencil out of the way. Now this is a time when I wash a stencil because this glitter does dry down and the stencil would be hard to use in the future without it. But look, you can go around and glitter the edge then. And you're probably like, well, how are you going to make a greeting card out of this? Well, you know what? I'm going to slap it on the front of one of those Strathmore 5x7 greeting cards, and I'm going to glue it down and maybe then put a ribbon or whatever. I mean, that's done, right? Because that's really pretty. I mean, it is kind of girly, I will admit, so possibly it's a better card for a girl. But I think my mom would like it. So I bet you could make manly looking paisleys though, because you know what? There's all kinds of paisley stuff for men, for women. I think they're, you know, work for anyone. So anyway, this is the Stencil Club offering for the month. I know a lot of you are already in our club, and I thank you for that. Thank you, thank you. The only glitter you use too. I know, right? So, wooden surface. Let's look at the back of the glitter. I think it does work on pretty much anything, Allison. Allison, what are you doing on here? One of my favorite local jewelers is right here. You all should check out her website. Yes, textile, paper, and wood. So there you go. And I will be back here next week. I'm going to figure out all these pesky tech problems before they get any worse. And I apologize for the beginning of this and for being on the wrong channel and all of it. But next week, we are going to have this together. And we'll be back on track doing our normal programming. Thanks for showing up today. I do appreciate that so much. And everybody, take care. Have a great Monday.